Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Śrī Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu class. The Friday shorter version will go for about 1 hour. And let's start with Mangalacharan. So I will, in interest of time, I will just not share the screen and all. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padikamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. I will share my screen. Okay. So we are studying the Śrī Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami. Nectar of Devotion, English translation or English summary study by His Divine Grace, by Charnaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro Premamritambo Nidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priyo Priyakaro Nirmatsaro Pujito Shri Chaitanya Kripa Bharo Bhuvi Bhuvo Bharavahantarako Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Saddharma Samsthapako Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Mattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. We will skip the memorization verses today. We will do it tomorrow. Okay, so let us get started. So let me pull up the slides where we stopped. So the last class was really important, where we saw the importance of Vraj Krishna. The kind of mood that Lord Krishna wants in his devotees is a very informal mood, because that informality is the sort of the basis for a lot of loving exchanges and a lot of rasa to be expressed both from Bhagavan to his devotees and between his devotees to Bhagavan. So that informality is a very important aspect, and that is where the sort of the maximum amount of very intimate loving relationship can flourish or can be expressed between a devotee and Bhagavan. So that was sort of the essence of what we discussed last time. So we will go into the next section. So let me share my screen. I cannot recall if we shared this verse last time or not, but this is the conclusion of the Ragatmika Bhakti section. And in this section, Sri Rupa Goswami is concluding the description of Ragatmika Bhakti by saying that and we know that there are two types of Ragatmikas, Kamarupa and Sambandharupa. So he said, this is a very nice verse, but it's just the conclusion. Kama Sambandharupe te prema matra swarupake nitya siddhaya shrayataya natra samyag vicharite. So Kama Sambandha Rupete, that this bhakti, which is of two types, Kama Rupa and Sambandha Rupa, Prema Matra Swarupake, that is caused by, and Sri Jiva Goswami says that Swarupa means cause. So that is caused by Prema alone. So Prema between Mother Yashoda and Krishna, or between the friends of Lord Krishna and Krishna, or between those who consider themselves as loving servants of Krishna and Krishna, or between the gopis and Krishna. So it's all, ultimately there is love. It's different kinds of love and the different activities that are suitable or that go with that kind of relationship. And we have discussed this a lot in the past. Like Sambhoga, which is a very important aspect, is only between gopis and Krishna. Mother Yashoda will not have Sambhoga with Krishna, obviously. It doesn't mean that her love is less. You cannot grade love saying, oh, whoever is willing to have Sambhoga is the highest one who loves Krishna. It's not like that. Mother Yashoda's love is unsurpassable, but it is expressed in different ways. So all of these are caused by prema towards Krishna in different ways. And this level, the main point is in the last two lines, that this level of love is present in the nitya siddhas alone. So nitya siddha ashrayataya, that this kind of ragatmika bhakti has taken the ashraya of nitya siddhas. So Mother Yashoda, the gopis, the friends, they are nitya siddhas. They have spiritual, eternally spiritual bodies. And he says that it is the purpose of this discussion was not to go into the depth of ragatmika bhaktas, but to show that rāgānugā bhaktas are those who follow in the footsteps of ragatmika bhaktas. So to achieve that purpose, this much discussion about ragatmika bhaktas is enough. And he says that we will not go into more detail right now. The future oceans, the divisions, southern and western, will go much deeper into that. But that is not in our syllabus of Bhakti Shastri. Only the eastern one is. So that is the meaning of this verse, that and the summary is that such bhakti, or this ragatmika bhakti, takes the ashraya or the shelter of these nitya siddha Vraja-vāsī bhaktas, such as the gopis, Nanda and Yashoda, Subala, Sudama, Raktak and Patraka. So all those four are covered: Madhurya, Vatsalya, Sakhya and Dasya. Okay, so we will go to our next topic, which is Raganuga Bhakti. So now Raganuga Bhakti starts. 1 second. So here is the summary of the overview of the rest of this chapter. So Raganuga Bhakti will start at 290. The previous verse was 289. Now 290 to 309. So that's 20 verses will cover the Raganuga Bhakti. And here is the summary of the Raganuga Bhakti section. So first 290. So if you see, all the verses are there, 290 up to 309. So the first verse will say that Raganuga Bhakti is of two types. We will cover that today. And then today we will cover another very, very important aspect, which is the eligibility for Raganuga Bhakti. What makes one eligible for Raganuga Bhakti? Okay. And the purpose of this is for us to evaluate, am I eligible? Where am I in my spiritual path? And but am I eligible? We'll come to that. So there are three verses for that, 291 to 293. Then come the three verses which are very important, 294 to 296. And these are known as the three core verses. Please pay attention, three core verses of Raganuga Bhakti, or how to execute Raganuga Bhakti. For Vaidhi Bhakti, we had so many verses, 64 limbs, and each limb had multiple verses. So we had like 100 plus verses or 250 verses on how to execute Vaidhi Bhakti. But we only have three verses for how to execute Raganuga Bhakti, but these are known as the three core verses of execution of Raganuga Bhakti. So please pay attention to this. If we get to it today, great. Otherwise, we'll get to it tomorrow. And then, so first we would have discussed two types of Raganuga Bhakti. As one, you can imagine, let me tell you the names. They are Kamanuga Bhakti and Sambandhanuga Bhakti, following from Kama Rupa Ragatmika and Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika. So Kama Anuga and Sambandhanuga. So there are several verses which show, mainly there are evidences, but a description of Kamanuga Bhakti. Now you don't say Kamanuga Raganuga, because Anuga is included in Kama. So in Kama Rupa, we can add Ragatmika. But here it is Kamanuga. So Kamanuga Bhakti or Sambandhanuga. Those who are following in the footsteps of the Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika Bhaktas, they are Sambandhanuga Bhakti, and their evidences. So mainly it is evidences, but main thing is the description of Kamanuga and Sambandhanuga. And the last verse, 309, is the cause for attaining the eligibility. Now, some of you or many of you will find that, oh, I don't think I'm eligible. What will make me eligible for Raganuga Bhakti? And so the last verse will reveal the cause for the eligibility or attaining the eligibility, how to attain the eligibility. Okay, so somehow the last verse, I feel, could have come in the beginning itself, but it is reserved. The best is reserved for the last. What is the cause for attaining this eligibility of Raganuga Bhakti? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, so let's go forward. So we have to end by 6:30. So let us proceed. Okay, so Raganuga Bhakti is of two types. So let us see the verse. Now we will go through almost till we reach the evidences portion, which is going to be somewhere after 297. We will go through every single verse. This whole section on Raganuga Bhakti is so important that we have to look at every single word. In each word, there's a lot of understanding which is packed in every word. So, Raganuga Bhakti is of two types. Okay. So, first of all, Raganuga Bhakti is being described, and it is being told here that it is of two types, but I am quoting the first verse. This verse is not 290th verse. This verse is the first verse of Raganuga Bhakti, which is 270. And that is being shown here for a purpose, for a reason. So let us revise what is Raganuga Bhakti. Virajantim abhivyaktam Vraja-vāsī janadishu ragatmikam anusruta ya sa rāgānugā uchyate. So let us see again what is this verse. This is what is Raganuga Bhakti. Virajantim abhivyaktam. So it is viraj, it is clearly, it is in a very dazzling, very bright, very obvious way, that is viraj. So it is sitting there, virajantim, abhivyaktam, and it's clearly visible, it's clearly manifest, it's obvious again. So very emphasis is being put on the fact that that's what you see, that's what comes out. Like if you see Mahatma Gandhi, you won't say that, oh, he is a from Gujarat. That's not the first thought that will come. When you see Mahatma Gandhi, the first thought will come freedom fighter, or the father of Indian independence, not something else. That aspect of Mahatma Gandhi is synonymous with his personality. Similarly, Vraja-vāsī Jana. What is the front and center thing in Vraja-vāsī Jana is that ragatmika bhakti. That is what is dripping. That is what is, is everything. They are made up. That's the centerpiece of their existence, of their personality, is that kind of bhakti. And that bhakti is ragatmika bhakti. So that is ragatmika bhakti. And those who follow it, anusruta. Anybody remembers the meaning of anusruta? Or we had discussed two words, anusaran and
anukaran.
No, similar ones. Anusaran and we said anugaman. Means following in the footsteps. What was the third word we said is anukaran? What is the meaning of anukaran?
To do the same.
Copy.
Copy, yes. Imitate. So that is prohibited. So we had said, I don't want to flip back so many slides, otherwise, it will take too much time. But we said there are three words, anusaran, anugaman, and anukaran. We must do anusaran or anugaman, but not anukaran. So, which means following in the footsteps. So that bhakti which follows in the footsteps, anusruta, ya sa means she, ya means that. So that bhakti, it's a female or it's a feminine gender bhakti, is called Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga uchyate. So she is called Raganuga Bhakti. So that bhakti which follows in the footsteps. Okay. So that was Raganuga Bhakti. Now this 290th verse, which I actually have not quoted, but basically what it is saying is the following. It's basically, this picture is showing what is verse number 290. So it says there are two types of Raganuga Bhakti. First, we discussed what is Raganuga Bhakti. There is two types. One is Kamanuga and one is Sambandhanuga. Okay, Kamanuga Bhakta or Kamanuga Bhakti Raganuga Bhakti is the one which is present in a Raganuga Bhakta. So we can just say that Bhakta is the personification of that Bhakti, or a person who has that kind of Bhakti in his heart is a Bhakta. So just, with that much understanding, a Raganuga Bhakta is one who is doing the anusaran or anugaman of a Kama Rupa Ragatmika Nitya Siddha Vraja-vāsī Jan. I have included all the words possible so that there is no confusion. But you can see all these things which we have discussed so far. Kama Rupa Ragatmika, we have discussed it enough in the previous classes. If for some of you are hearing this first time, you can review the previous classes. So Kama Rupa Ragatmika Bhakta, they are Nitya Siddhas, okay, and they are Vraja-vāsīs. And one who does anusaran or anugaman, which means follow in their footsteps, they are Raganuga Bhaktas. We will go into more detail. It's not the definition or the understanding of Raganuga Bhakti is not going to end here. So don't think, okay, all you are saying, follow in the footsteps. Then what? That is what the rest of the 20 verses are all about. And similarly, Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika Nitya Siddha Vraja-vāsī Jana. So Sambandha Rupa, those who are doing or following in the footsteps are Sambandhanuga Bhaktas. So basically, Raganuga Bhaktas are of two types, Raganuga and Sambandhanuga. Finish. That's the understanding. Clear? So much time we spent just to establish the fact that two types of Raganuga Bhaktas. Okay? One deriving from Kama Rupa Ragatmika, one deriving from Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika. Okay? Please, and there's a lot of terminology, lot of technical terms. If you are hearing this first time, then it will not make much sense. So you'll need to review the previous classes. This is a very deep and a very delicate topic. So we have to build it up slowly. Okay, now comes the very, very important topic, which is eligibility for Raganuga Bhakti. So Sri Rupa Goswami, so far he described Ragatmika Bhaktas. They are the highest ones. That is the place that's like the ideal. They are Nitya Siddhas. Those Nitya Siddha means who? Who are having the eternal spiritual body. Nitya Siddha. Our body is eternal? No. Is it spiritual?
No.
No. Both. It is perishable, so it is not eternal, and it is material. So, or it is temporary and material. Nitya Siddhas are who? Who have a permanent or eternal spiritual body. They are called Nitya Siddha. So once you become, maybe after this life, or maybe after few more lives, you become a spiritual, you go to the spiritual world, then you can be called as Nitya Siddha. So who are the Nitya Siddhas? Those who are having a eternal spiritual body. And those are the Raga, and we have some specific ones like Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, so many examples, the gopis and all, they are Nitya Siddhas. Okay, and some of them were Nitya Siddhas, they never had material body. They were eternally from beginningless. They were in the spiritual world. Some of us are in material world. Right now, I am in material world. All of you on Zoom are also in material world. There's no Zoom technology from spiritual world to here. So we are all in material world. One day we may go to spiritual world, and that's fine. So we were in material world, and then we go to spiritual world. Some were always in spiritual world. So either way, they are Nitya Siddhas. Okay, so that is Ragatmika. Who is Raganuga? Obviously, those who are having material body. They are the Raganugas. Ragatmikas don't need to be Raganugas. They are already Ragatmika. So while Raganuga only applies to those in material world. That's why you are trying to follow the footsteps of a Ragatmika. Okay, so that is the first point, that you need to be in the material world. Obviously, so that you may think it's a very obvious point, but it still needs to be made. Okay, now let us see what is the meaning of, or what is the eligibility of Raganuga Bhakti? So here is the verse. Ragatmika eka nishthaye Vraja-vāsī janādayah tesham bhāvāptaye lubdho bhaved adhikaravan atra adhikaravan. So please see very carefully, okay? Ragatmika eka nishtha ye, that who have that nishtha, or that who are eka nishtha. So ragatmika eka nishtha, who have that, who are singularly fixed, who are like, fixed in one thing. On what? That ragatmika bhakti. So that singularly fixed ragatmika bhakti, which is present in who? Vraja-vāsīs. So ragatmika bhakti, they are completely focused only on Krishna. There is no distractions. There is absolutely nothing. They are the topmost devotees. Okay, so they are completely, their whole personality, their whole existence is completely singularly fixed in Krishna. Okay, so these are the ragatmikas, correct? Tesham bhāvāptaye lubdho. That those who are, this lubdho word is the most critical word. And you will hear this again and again and again. Lubdho, or it also the root is lobh or greed. So being greedy, tesham bhava aptaye. Aptaye means to obtain. Tesham bhava, unka bhava, their bhava. Obtain greed. That's the literal word by word. So being greedy to obtain their mood, or a mood similar to theirs, not exactly their mood, but similar to theirs. Okay, there are different kinds of gopis, for example. Now, for example, there is Srimati Radharani and there is Srimati Chandravali. You might have heard that, their moods are completely different. So it is like, every gopi has a slightly different mood. Srimati Radha and Sri Chandravali obviously are two big contrasts. But every gopi similarly has a slightly different mood, and you may develop a mood or want to develop a mood similar to theirs. It may be an exact copy, it may be similar again. So that's not very well defined, but similar to their mood. But that greed is there. I want their mood. I feel like I want to connect with Krishna in the same or similar way like they are connecting to Krishna. One has that greed. When will I become, or when will I get that bhava like they have? So that greed is there. The question, you may not have that bhava today. But if you are thinking, when will I get it? When will I get it? Like when the latest iPhone is announced, many of us think, oh, when will I get the latest iPhone? When will I get? I'm just taking an example, right? Or you see your friend going on a cruise. So just material examples. When will I go? Something like that, okay? So when will I get? So that lobha is there today. You have not yet gone on the cruise. You have not yet got the iPhone. Okay, but that greed is there today. All right, so that greed being there, or you maybe, I don't care about iPhone, I have my Android, or I have whatever. I'm happy here in my home, I don't need to go on cruise. Then you don't have the greed. But if you have the greed, or you can, in more direct terms, I'm happy in my material life. Khao, piyo, mast raho. I am eat, drink, and be merry. I don't want to be like one of those devotees who are always running around Krishna and this and that. That does not inspire me at all. Then you do not have that greed. Are you following? So, first of all, you need to understand the bhava or the mood of those Vraja-vāsīs, and then you have to see whether you have that deep desire to develop that mood. You like it so much that you want to develop it. Okay? Are you following? When that lobha is there, that is the eligibility for Raganuga Bhakti. So now you have to do some soul searching. Do you want to develop that mood? Now there is a first blocker. Absolutely first blocker is there. What is the first blocker here? Let me ask, all of you ask yourself, take 30 seconds and ask yourself this question. Do you want to develop that mood? What do you think will be the majority answer? Don't tell me your answer. Speculate on what would be the majority answer of the people. Maybe not in this group. This is a very, special group of very fixed devotees. Maybe take a general group of devotees. What do you think will be the first, the majority answer? If you ask them, do you want to develop? Or do you have the greed to have a bhāva similar to them? Anybody wants to say? Kindly mute yourself if you're not. Yes, Shalu Mataji.
The answer will be no, because most people are just happy-go-lucky in their lifestyle.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else wants to predict?
What is this and why should I do it? Like that they will think.
Okay. Anybody else?
They may say yes, because they might think it's a very easy thing to do.
It's a very easy thing to do. Okay.
Just be like Vraj people, So very simple. They may think it's very simple.
What it has to do with Vraja-vāsīs? Simplicity can be in Jhumri Talaiya in some village in Andhra Pradesh, or some other state, Maharashtra or wherever. Simple, you can find simplicity anywhere. What that has to do with this? Yes, Shamlila Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, they may say yes because they'll feel that there are no rules here. तो हम भगवान को झूठा भी खिला सकते हैं जैसे वो करते हैं. So instead of following.
Wait, I have not mentioned there are no rules.
No. I mean, they may think that in this type of bhakti, you don't have to follow any scriptural. You can just sort of wing it.
When did I say that? You are going ahead.
Okay, sorry, Prabhuji.
Yes, Damodar Krishna Prabhu. I'm trying to make a certain point. You are right, Shamlila Mataji, but I am trying to get to a different point through this question answer.
They may not want it, Prabhu, because they may like or love the things in this material world itself.
All right. So similar to someone else, like Shalu Mataji, I think said same thing. Okay. Okay, let's move forward. So Renuka Mataji, what did you say? Can you please say that again? She said something very close to what I'm looking for. I don't know if she's still.
What is this and why should I do it?
Aha. Thank you. So the question is, I am asking, do you want to have a bhava similar to that of the Vraja-vāsīs? Arey Baba, if I don't even know what is the bhava of the Vraja-vāsīs, how will I know whether I want it or not? And it is not just by seeing some little Krishna video on YouTube that you can know the bhava of Vraja-vāsīs in 3 hours. It is impossible. So how would you know in detail, in depth, what is the bhava of a Vraja-vāsī? Isn't that the first step? And then you can decide or do some soul searching, do some introspection, contemplation, and see whether you want it or not. Isn't it? So you have to do some in detail study. I have an iPad last month, new iPad was announced. I looked at it. Do I want it? I said, no, it's not good enough. No major improvement in the new iPad compared to what I have. So I said, I don't want it. But without doing that analysis of what is there, how will I know whether I want it or not? Just because it is a new iPad, I want it, huh? I don't have that kind of money. So the first step is to know in detail. And many people I have seen, including myself, my teacher hammered this point in my head. Without knowing in detail, how can you make a determination whether I'm eligible or not? First, you have to know. And the second point is that the moment you know what the details are, 50 or 70% of the problem is solved. Because once you know, then it's much easier to determine or to see. Your heart will say, I want it, or you say, nah, sound doesn't, whatever, but the first step is knowing. Okay, so I have brought out a very key point in this of today's discussion, which is this knowing part, as to what is that mood. So tesham, their bhava aptaye, their bhava obtain, having the greed for that bhava. The most important, again, greed is important, but before that, it is to know what is their bhava. Then you can see whether you have greed for it or not. And if you have the greed, then you are eligible, adhikarvan. Okay? Like we say, dayavan. Dayavan means one who has daya. Adhikarvan means one who has adhikar. So van means a possessor of that thing. So one is the possessor of the adhikar. Adhikar means eligibility. So, okay, bhaved means that makes him eligible. So the most important thing I have pointed out is greed. The other point which I said, knowing, I will hammer home in the next few slides. But here, it's that greed. When will I have? When will I have? Mind you, it is not that you have their bhava. It's not about having the bhava today. It is having the strong desire to have the bhava. You are so enamored. You are so attracted by who they are. You want to sort of become like them one day by following the footsteps properly, not by copying the externals. So, oops, am I still sharing? So the qualification is having the greed for the bhava, and Hari Parshad Prabhu kind of translates it best. Bhava is mood and disposition. So I have used that. Mood and disposition, or bhava, for those who understand Hindi or Sanskrit or any other local one of the languages, can understand bhava. Okay, so having that greed for that bhava, similar to Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur uses the word sajatiya. So similar to, or in the same sort of theme or the same direction. Similar to a nitya siddha Vraja-vāsī who is fixed in ragatmika bhakti. All right. So that is the eligibility for a rāgānugā, for somebody to begin Raganuga Bhakti. All right. We will discuss more a little bit towards the end. I have a summary slide on the notes or whatever, but let's go to the next point now. So the next point is, how do you know, or some of the symptoms of the appearance of lobha? Okay, that lobha is, now first of all, it will be more or less obvious in your heart that that greed will be apparent. That's the first thing. You yourself will know. Now, another symptom has been given by Sri Rupa Goswami. So let us see this verse. And this is where Shyamlila Mataji was trying to go. So she was one verse ahead of us. So, tad bhavadi madhurye shrute. I should have made this word shrute in red color. Shrute dhiryad apekshate na atra shastram na yuktim cha tad lobha utpatti lakshanam. I am breaking down the words to make it clear. Lobha utpatti, lobhotpatti lakshanam. All right, so let us break it down. Tad bhavadi madhurye. This sweetness, this madhurya doesn't mean madhurya ras. Okay, this madhurya is just the general sweetness. And obviously it applies to all the rasas, madhurya, vatsalya, sakhya, and dasya. So don't think this madhurya means only madhurya rasa. It means general sweetness. There is sweetness in dasya also, obviously. So the sweetness of the bhava of the tad of means of those various Vraja-vāsīs whom you are trying to follow in the footsteps of, right? Or whom one wants to have the desire to develop the bhava of, or similar bhava as. Tad bhavadi madhurya, that sweetness bhava of that bhava. Shrute dhirayad apekshate. Now, shrute is extremely important. Let me make it in red color right now before I forget. It's extremely important. Upon hearing. All right. Shrute dhirayad apekshate. Upon hearing of which. So, how do you know the sweetness of the bhava? Sweetness ko chodo. First, let alone the sweetness. First, you need to hear the bhava. Then you can determine whether it is sweet or salt or bitter. So the first step is hearing. Upon hearing of which, and then you see, wow, this is so sweet. Okay. And then one thinks that, oh, I am no longer obligated to do the activities of Vaidhi Bhakti, like, doing chanting, let's say, or Nama Sankirtan, let us say. Okay. So one is not obligated to. This apekshate, apeksha is a very important word. Oh, slide sharing is off. Thank you for pointing out. You should have pointed out before. Now it is visible. So, yeah. So, one is no longer obligated to, or you can say dependent on. So one is not dependent. It does not mean that one gives up the thing. It is the motivation changes. One still continues to do those things. Like Nama Sankirtan, not out of obligation. Vaidhi Bhakti, if you remember, was out of obligation or fear of or injunction. Shastra says, therefore I have to do it. It's more like a sense of duty. Now you do the same thing, but out of attachment or out of that greed. Remember, like I told that whole billiards story 2, 3, 4 weeks ago? Oh, I want to become table 1 player. I want to become a table 1 player. Oh, I'm on table 4 and I want to get to table 1. Remember that whole discussion? Then I'm spending hours and hours on, perfecting my game or improving my game because I want that desire, that lobha is there to go to table 1. You follow? So, and that comes by seeing those people. Now here we cannot see directly Krishna Lila, but we can see through hearing. Srimad Bhagavatam is the DVD. Srimad Bhagavatam is our view, our way to see the Krishna Lila. So upon hearing of which, the intelligence says that dhira yad apekshate, that one is no longer, now no is coming in the next line, na atra shastram, natra shastram, na yuktim cha. One is, and that's the no I'm using here from the next line. So no longer aspires to follow the injunctions or the logic in the Shastra. So all that logic goes out of the window. And what is the logic in Shastra? Most of the logic in Shastra is what? Who remembers? Let's pop quiz. We discussed it. Okay, it's a deep point and you might have forgotten. Most of the carrot, that's the logic, that yukti, carrot in the Shastra is, if you do this, all your sins will be removed. Remember? Or if you do this, you will go to higher planets. Or you will get moksha, not even higher planets, moksha. All those carrots were shown, but that's the logic. Oh, logic. I am suffering here. I want to get free of suffering. Therefore, let me do this. That's the logic. So, one is not obligated to, or one is not aspiring for that logic or the results coming out of that logic. I want to remove my suffering. I want to have better life. I want to be happy. I don't want to go through death. None of those reasons are there. The reason is to develop that sweet bhāva or bhāva similar to those of the Vraja-vāsīs. Whether it is here on planet Earth or in Vaikuntha doesn't matter. Wherever I can develop that bhāva is okay with me. Great. That is my goal. That is the eligibility of Raganuga Bhakti. And when one starts to do those same Shastra Yukti, out of those reasons, the obligation, apeksha is not there. Shrute dhirayad apekshate na atra shastram na yuktim cha. That is a lakshana. So what is the lakshana? The lakshana is not that. So Shamlila Mataji had said it in the opposite way, that one desires to give up. I want to put it in a different way. That when one begins to do those same things, but out of that lobha. Oh, I want to do it because I want to develop that bhāva. That bhāva becomes or the desire to develop that bhāva becomes the motivation. Not liberation, not swarga, not enjoying with the apsaras in swarga, not better next life. Tu aaj 1 rupiya de, Bhagwan agle janam mein 10 rupiya dega. So not to do a 10 times return on investment in next life. Not for those reasons, but only to develop the mood or the bhāva similar to of the Vraja-vāsīs. When you start doing those activities, that is a symptom, that is a lakshana of lobha. So tat lobha utpatti. Utpatti means the appearance. Lobha utpatti lakshanam. Okay? Understood? So I have summarized some of those points, key points from this verse. So when a devotee hears from scriptures, upon hearing from where? Primarily Srimad Bhagavatam and other Lila scriptures. And I would say the next couple of important Lila scriptures are Brihad Bhagavatamrit, Gopal Champu, etc. Of the sweetness of the love of the Vraja-vāsīs and how they serve them, in what mood they serve them, and what all are they willing to do to serve them. So when a devotee hears of this sweetness, then his intelligence is no longer bound by the injunctions. The Shastras are more binding. That binding is liberated. Now out of the liberation of the binding, one may say, "Are chalo chodo, good riddance. I don't have to do anything." That is the wrong conclusion. Then you definitely don't have the lobha. And that would be the wrong reason. Many people may say, yes, that's what she was saying. Just because it says I'm no longer bound. Arey chutti mili. Good riddance. So that is not the thing. Many people do that because it says this. Now you are no longer bound. Oh, no binding. Oh, thank you. That means nothing. No binding equal to 0. No binding doesn't equal to 0. No binding equals no binding. Still you do it. Nobody told me you must get to table 1. I just had that inner desire, and many of you will have this inner desire to do some things which you constantly keep doing. Some people want to do gardening. Some people want to do something. That inner desire is there. Okay, and the biggest inner desire that most people have is to run after sense gratification, make money. Paisa, 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 paisa. So everybody is very nicely trying to find out. Before I came to Krishna consciousness, I used to have some friends go for dinner. Half the time the discussion was which shares are going up, where to rebalance my 401k or this. Oh, this gold is going up. Oh, whatever, solar energy is going up, or the, oh my God, it's such a boring discussion. But that lobha is there for sense gratification. So everybody is familiar with this lobha. Nobody is telling them you should go research whether gold is going up or whatever, energy products are going up. They just do it. So it doesn't mean that in no bound doesn't mean that you don't have to do anything. No bound means there is no force. So that's the last point. Not that one disregards the Shastra, just that one does not feel obligated to follow them as a matter of duty or out of fear, which is the case with Vaidhi Bhakti, rather out of that lobha. Okay? And then, yes, you can pick and choose which one you like to do, or, little bit modify it. All right? Next verse, 293. So we might go a little bit above 630, 635. This is another very important verse. Okay, so this is the bottom line. Therefore, deep study of Lila Shastra, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, is so important, because first step is to know. If you don't even know the bhāva of the Vraja-vāsīs, the question whether that you have lobha or not doesn't even arise. Okay? So first you have to know it. And 90% people don't care to go deep into Srimad Bhagavatam, especially the 10th canto, which contains the Vraja-vāsīs mood. Vraja-vāsīs mood is not there in 8th canto, 9th canto, 1st canto, 2nd canto. It's not there. It's in 10th canto. But it doesn't mean you should jump there. So I'm saying this because to read 10th canto, go through the first 9. So it's a long journey. And go through it in depth. Not just by hearing one YouTube lecture on it or a YouTube series on it. That's a good starting point. But to know it in detail is what is being said. Next question comes, okay, let's say you have done that. Okay. One has studied Bhagavatam, but one doesn't feel that attraction, that lobha. It's not there. Many people could be there in this category. I am very attracted to bhakti, to Bhagwan. Bhagwan Krishna is so merciful. He has done so many nice things in my life. He gave me a good son or a good daughter or a good husband for my daughter or a good, wife for my son. Whatever it may be, gave me my green card, gave me promotion, gave me such a good life. Or I was going to meet an accident, just got missed. Definitely Bhagwan had a hand in it. Many devotees feel the hand of Bhagwan in their life. So they are attracted to Bhagwan, they are attracted to Bhakti, but they may not feel the lobha towards the mood of the Vraja-vāsīs. I just don't feel anything in my heart. Are theek hai? Mother Yashoda is there. Okay, fine. Mother Devaki is also there. I don't feel something special for Mother Yashoda. Or the gopis, Vrajavāsī gopis are there, but so are the queens of Dwarka. I don't feel anything special. So then what should such people do? And this is also the case with many devotees, very well-meaning devotees who may be very nicely engaged in their bhakti, but don't feel that lobha. That's very genuine feeling to have. And Sri Rupa Goswami answers that in this verse 293. Vaidhi Bhakti adhikari tu bhāva avirbhavan avadhi atra shastram tatha tarkam anukulam apekshate. So what he's saying, but a person who is eligible for Vaidhi Bhakti. Now, eligible for Vaidhi Bhakti means what? Everybody is eligible? No. Only those who fear the Shastra, or not fear, or are following the Shastra out of either fear or duty. Fear, desire, or duty. They are eligible. All these people who are in the rest of the world, who are involved in sense gratification, khao, piyo, mast raho, eat, drink, be merry, atheists, they are not eligible for Vaidhi Bhakti because they have no regard for Shastra. So there is eligibility for Vaidhi Bhakti. So he's saying a person who is, which means this means those who are devotees who are following Vaidhi Bhakti till the time bhava appears. And I will tell you what bhava is here. One should atra shastram tatha tarkam. This is the same thing, Shastra and Yukti. Keep following. One should on the Shastras and their logic, anukulam apekshate, continue to depend on it in a anukula, in a favorable way. So the answer is what? The answer is, if that lobha is not there in your heart, the simple answer is continue your Vaidhi Bhakti with properly, anukulam, not mechanically. Remember last time we had discussion about mechanical? Not mechanical, in a sincere way. Properly, anukulam apekshate. Okay? So, what is the answer? What if I don't have that lobha? If that is the question, the answer is continue performing your Vaidhi sadhan bhakti. How? Not mechanically, but with 100% triple S. Triple S is 100% sincerity, seriousness, and steadiness. And with a mood of absorption and prayer to attain bhava. When will I attain that desire? No, I should have changed it here. This is not correct. When to attain, it should be lobha. Oh, why is it not typing? Okay. So with and a prayer to attain that lobha, not bhava. Oh, share the screen. Sorry. Thank you. So mood of absorption and a prayer to attain the lobha. Okay. I don't have lobha. So let me have lobha, because I read in the book, Prabhuji told me lobha is so important, or whatever may be your reason. Rupa Goswami said, Bhakti Shastri course told me lobha. Arey, let me have lobha. Okay. And two meanings of bhava are here. One is general bhava bhakti, via the path of Vaidhi sadhan bhakti, because, and this is Sri Jiva Goswami's commentary, from there it is coming, that even if one continues in the path of Vaidhi sadhan bhakti, you will attain bhava bhakti stage. You don't have to go through Raganuga Bhakti. So one can either directly attain bhava bhakti, or bhava also means till continue doing your Vaidhi bhakti till that bhava, that greed, the lobha for the bhava similar to Vraja-vāsīs appears. Okay? And what is this Vaidhi Bhakti? The main component for this, in this aspect, to develop that lobha, is to know what is their bhava. The more you know, someday something will click in your heart. Not I'm pointing to my mind, but actually it should be here, in your heart. Something, oh my God, they are so sweet. That is such a sweet mood of Yashoda, Mother Yashoda, or that is such a sweet mood of Srimati Radharani. Your heart will be completely touched, pierced by it. You never know which one will pierce your heart, which sentence, which word, which incident. But that will not happen. It's not luck. Oh, why didn't I hear this incident first? That's like asking, I'll tell you a small joke. Somebody was eating, he was given 20 chapatis. He was thinking, which chapati should I eat so that my hunger is, kya bolenge? Satisfied. So he picked out one chapati from the middle. Hunger was not satisfied. He picked up another chapati from somewhere else. He was like drawing cards from a pack of cards. Finally, when he ate the fifth chapati, his hunger was satisfied. So he was a fool, right? It's not the random cards that you pick. It's that you have to keep doing it, and at one point it will be satisfied. Similarly, now again, this is different. Yes, but another way is like if you want to break a stone, till the 99 times you hit with a hammer, there is not even a crack. But the 100th time when you hit it, it just splits. It doesn't mean that the previous 99 hits did not have any impact or did not have any effect. So point being, continue to hear Srimad Bhagavatam with absorption, attentively, relish it in association of like-minded rasic devotees. That's very important. Not like, just, okay, next. Then it's like going in 1 year, coming out of another year. And one day something will click and your heart will be hooked. And you will tell yourself, I want that bhāva. When will I have that bhāva? That's the lobha. Done. Done. You are on the path. Okay. So the key ingredient is to keep hearing, and keep relishing the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. In depth. Last slide for today. More notes. So this is a summary of everything we discussed. So it is clear by now. I hope it is clear. Now we talked about eligibility for entering into or for Raganuga Bhakti. That absorption in Srimad Bhagavatam is absolutely essential, absolutely instrumental in this path. Either it leads to the stage of direct bhāva bhakti, or it results in the appearance of that lobha in the heart. One of the two will happen. And either way, you are successful. Doesn't matter. Let Krishna play the magic. You do your part of immersing yourself deeply in Srimad Bhagavatam. And this progress, by the way, could continue from past lives. It doesn't all have to happen. Somebody you may see, young boy, young man, 20 years, and he is like deeply into it, relishing it. And you are like, I'm 60 years old. Why it is not happening? Arey Baba, you don't know. He may have spent 60 lifetimes before. So don't judge. So this progress continues, obviously, as it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita itself. Life over life. And it is not like once one becomes eligible, okay, Bhagavatam done, never going to read it again. No. One needs to further thicken his attachment. One has that lobha, I want to get that mood, let us say, that bhava. One has that greed, I want that mood. I want to become or have a bhava like them. How to get there also comes from Bhagavatam only. So now for that reason, one continues to delve into Bhagavatam. How to get it? First, it told you what to get. Now you become hooked. Now it tells you how to get. So it thickens. And for that, the guidance of an advanced devotee who is already also on that path is very important. We will cover this in the next few slides or next class tomorrow. Just a small example I'm giving here and we'll be done. So if I heard a lot about the sweetness of gulab jamun and have agreed to eat it. So let us say you have heard so much about gulab jamun. Okay, I've heard it. Now I want to eat it. Then I will try to find out where to get it or how to make it, what is the recipe, which shop has it, which shop has the best taste. You will try to find out from those who have eaten it or who have made it right or wrong. So you have to find somebody who knows the address of the store or who knows the recipe or whatever, and you go ask them, they will tell. Those were the same people who were telling you how sweet gulab jamun is. So it is not that you abandon those people. Now I am hooked onto gulab jamun. Thank you. I don't need to talk to you anymore. No, you need to talk to them because you need to know the address of the store, of the shop, or you need to know the recipe. And those people are the rasika devotees who are telling us Srimad Bhagavatam. So this immersion, absorption in Srimad Bhagavatam continues. That is the point. Therefore, the immersion and absorption in Srimad Bhagavatam is always to be done. Okay? Next, we will go into the core process, the 3 verses. We will cover this tomorrow. Tomorrow's class will be a conclusion of this Raganuga Bhakti because we'll have more time, 2.5 hours. But we'll go through the whole process and we'll finish Raganuga Bhakti, hopefully. Okay? So that is the discussion for today. Questions? So there's something. So one question is, which chapter in NOD? So 15 and 16 are Raganuga Bhakti chapters, 15, 16 in NOD. Okay. Then the Vraja-vāsīs waited for 100 years, waiting every day that Krishna will come back. I have not heard of anyone on this planet who could wait for someone with undeviating love so much. Yes, that's true. And if that attracts you, wow, now 100 years is not the right number, but different acharyas and all have given 70 years or something, but something like that, yeah. Who can do that? That's exactly the point. I was sharing this incident in one of the previous classes. After 70 years, they are meeting Sri Krishna and their love has not diminished even one bit. And there is no saltiness in their love either. Why did you not come? You are so insensitive. No, nothing. And again, you can review that class. I don't want to go into the... But yes, so if that, it could be one of the so many incidents that just touch your heart. But yes, that is the bhāva. Oh my God, so much love for Krishna. Can I have a fraction of that love? I want to have a fraction of that love. The moment that question becomes real, genuinely in your heart, you have the lobha. That is the arising of the lobha. All right. So yeah, I think that was what you were trying to say, Sai Prabhu. Okay. Okay. No other questions. So we will end here. Sorry, it went a little longer. And we will see you tomorrow. And tomorrow it is hybrid again. We'll see if anybody wants to attend in person, then we can do in person. If no one, then we'll do online. No problem. All right. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yay. Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
These are some
Radhe
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji.
Sindhu,
Thank
please
you, Mataji.
pay for attention.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna,
Thank you.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Krishna Prabhu,
Hare
thank you.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, can I ask one question?
Prabhuji, so sorry. I just thought of a question. Can I ask? Sorry.
Sure,
Hare
it's
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you Prabhuji.
recording, so it will get recorded. Go ahead. Now is the time.
So, Prabhuji, the obligation that we were talking about, what if we feel like an obligation ke Bhagwan does so much for us and I can't even do this? That is also sort of like an obligation.
That's
But
why, yeah. If you are doing it as a reciprocation, then it is a obligation. Then that's Vaidhi.
Hmm.
If you have real
So,
love,
Prabhuji, how?
if you have real
Sorry.
love, you should have the freedom to say no. Like sometimes my children, I have done so much for my children, and sometimes I ask them, can you get me a glass of water? No, Papa, I'm busy right now. Can you get it yourself? No, I don't. That's not an expression of hate. I mean, if they were duty bound, they would never say that. But they know there is love, and in love you can say no.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Sorry about that. I was just.
No, that's a good question. So I mean, the point is that duty boundness. If I had a employee, a servant, and if he said no, I would fire him. Or he would dare not say no for fear of being fired. Or whatever, not just fired. It's not just a firing, that's a fear, but also duty. Hey, I am the servant. My master is asking me, I got to do it. So that freedom to say no comes out of informality or that's the thing we were discussing last time.
Intimacy.
Love. Yes, intimacy. And most of the time you would do it. It's the same thing, Mother Yashoda, if she was like, she felt like, oh, just to save that milk on the stove, she put Krishna aside.
Yeah.
Why would she do that? Or to chastise him, she, bound him to the mortar. Did all those quote unquote, bad things. Today, if anybody were to do that, it would be child abuse. Okay.
Yeah.
Get arrested for that. Right? So it was not Vaidhi, that is ragatmika.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Damodar Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the late question. Prabhuji, मेरा ये question था, Prabhu, कि if so all our acharyas are also considered as manjaris and then Vraja-vāsīs.
Acharya means in their sadhak deha. There is that distinction we will cover tomorrow, but go ahead.
So
There's sadhak deha and siddha deha.
Yeah. So my question is, Prabhu, if we have the desire to love the Vraja-vāsī instead of loving Krishna, would that be still considered as a proper lobha, or should it not be done? We should still, like, I'm thinking this in terms of the acharya, because when we are serving acharyas, we usually think that we want to develop attachment to acharyas or to Srila Prabhupada. We want to love Srila Prabhupada. So in that way, is that lobha, and having that lobha that I want to love Prabhupada, not that I want to develop mood of Prabhupada, but I want to love Prabhupada. So is that lobha wrong lobha?
Very good. That's a very good intermediate state. Okay. Very good intermediate state. But that is not the lobha has to be for developing utpatti, for the appearance of that bhāva, or having a bhāva similar to the Vraja-vāsīs. Okay, so it is not, don't confuse it with now I'm disregarding my guru at all. They have that bhāva too. Okay?
Right. Like they have the
neither you should think I'm disregarding them, or now I'm their peer. They have that bhāva, I have that bhāva, we are on the same platform. No, not even like that. Okay, so but ultimately the attachment is to Shri Krishna. Now, there will be a small twist in the tale which we will cover tomorrow. Okay, but main point is attachment is to Shri Krishna.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji. Prabhu, I think your voice is getting hang. I'm not sure if it is just me. Oh, प्रभु के घर से शायद हो गया होगा, माता